Let me tell you about ProHealthConnect.com. It's transforming healthcare payments, providing retailers a seamless process for over-the-counter and healthy benefit programs. By connecting retailers, health plans, and payment processors, ProHealth Connect creates one powerful, unified network. They empower independent grocers and pharmacies to accept health benefit cards without changing how they do business. With over 10,000 locations nationwide, helping more than 1.3 million people access the care and nutrition they need. Go to ProHealthConnect.com.
The Disney Plus Hulu HBO Max bundle. The best in entertainment in one bundle. This month, stream Disney and Pixar's blockbuster family favorite, Hoppers, on Disney Plus.
This is incredible!
FX's critically acclaimed The Bear, Season 5 on Hulu.
Everything's either going to be okay
or not.
And Season 3 of the HBO original series, House of the Dragon, on HBO Max.
You have power within your grasp.
Get the Disney Plus Hulu HBO Max bundle today. All of these and more streaming soon. Plan starting at $19.99 a month. Terms apply. Visit Disney Plus Hulu Max Bundle.com for details.
Breaking news.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, the polls have closed in the state of California. Of course, the two big races that everybody's looking at there is the race for governor and the race for L.A. mayor. Will a Republican end up in the top two? There is a good chance. And maybe we might even have maybe at least an inkling in the next few minutes. We'll find out, but the polls have officially closed. They also allow for mail-in voting. So there's a lot of twists and turns that could happen in California, but we may get an indication this hour. So you definitely want to stay tuned here on the Rita Cosby Show. And the stakes could not be higher, especially as we're looking at decisions that have been coming through across the country tonight. There were 6 primary states that had elections tonight. Some of the big ones in Iowa, Ashley Hinson handily winning the primary nomination there. That is to run for the Senate in Iowa to replace Joni Ernst, who's leaving. She's going to go up against Josh Turek, who he won on the Democratic side. So Josh Turek versus Ashley Hinson in the Iowa Senate race. And then on the Montana side, Montana also had some primaries. And in that race, this is for the retiring Congressman Ryan Zinke. Aaron Flint, who is a veteran and conservative talk radio host, he emerged ahead in a 4-way race. So he quickly racked up the endorsements, by the way, of Donald Trump prior to all of that. But he has emerged as the Republican nominee to vie for the Ryan Zinke seat. And that's in deep red Montana. Iowa is pretty red too as well. And of course, as I mentioned, everybody looking to see what's going to happen in California. The stakes couldn't be higher because you've got folks like Karen Bass, who was a disaster during the forest fires. I mean, you think about the homes that were burned to the ground as a result of what a lot of people feel was her negligence. Remember, she took off, went to Ghana, moved on, went elsewhere, came back and was kind of like, no big deal. Just to give you a sense of the homes that were destroyed as a result of the fire. 11,000 homes destroyed in January 2025 at those LA wildfires. Only 60 have been rebuilt to the point of being habitable. 60 out of 11,000, including Spencer Pratt, who, of course, is running against Karen Bass, saying this is reprehensible, that California deserves better. And boy, do they ever. Well, here is Karen Bass. Take a listen, because she knows that Spencer Pratt is a threat. There's no doubt about it. This is, of course, the former reality star from The Hills, very popular, and he has really been skyrocketing in the last few weeks, especially. The message is resonating about homelessness. It's resonating about crime. Those are some of the big issues there in California. And here is Karen Bass vilifying him. Listen to what she calls him, a reality TV star villain. Take a listen.
I think that voters have a decision to make in between somebody who has been bringing change in our city, reducing homelessness for the first time. Homelessness was only going up. Fast-track 42,000 units in housing, 60-year drop in crime, and much, much more to come, or a reality TV star villain And I think we know how reality stars make it when they are in government. And what's going on is not the best picture. So a reality star with no track record, I'm not sure he's ever had a job other than reality TV. I don't know if he worked at a regular job. I know he has no idea how the city government is run, but or somebody who has devoted their lives to change, and over the last 3.5 years have brought about change in some very significant ways.
A reality star villain. Like, he's not qualified, and I guess her being in Ghana when the horrific wildfires that consumed the Palisades and so many other beautiful areas of California, I guess she really is the one, right? I guess she's the one to lead the charge. By the way, we're waiting for some results to come in. It's interesting. Steve Hilton, so far, very preliminary results coming in, showing that he is doing quite well. Can you imagine if a Republican ends up in the finals there for governor in California? Boy, would that be a big one. And we'll get you an update in a few minutes as they are starting to count the votes in California. Meantime, here's this moment from the L.A. mayor's debate. You got to hear this. Questions about should non-citizens vote? Well, the answer is no, no, and no. That's the answer. But listen to the debate, and here's the question. It was asked of Spencer Pratt, and then you'll hear Karen Bass saying, I'm not really sure.
This is a yes or no question and answer. So there's an LA council member. He wants voters to decide. He is saying that non-citizens, should they be allowed to vote in local elections? Is this a yes or no, Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
Depends on what?
Well, first of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal. It doesn't mean they're undocumented. They could have green cards. They could be here perfectly legal. And there's a lot of states and cities that do that on very, very local elections. We have to see what the councilman is proposing.
Councilmember Bremen.
Yeah, I would say, again, it does depend. In other places, school boards have non-citizens.
Yes or no?
Non-citizens who vote.
Mr. Pratt, I have a question for you. You told NBC News.
Let's go back to the non-citizens voting. It depends. Even the Latino host was like, huh? Wait. What depends on what? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, we want them all to vote. This is really such disparate visions for California. And I'm afraid if California stays in the hands of people like Karen Bass and maybe a Javier Becerra or a Tom Steyer, California may be done. I love California. I think it's one of the most beautiful states by far in the country. I used to live in California. I think it is a gorgeous, beautiful state. But if you have really irresponsible leaders, real radical extremists who want more illegal immigration, who want more taxpayer-funded illegal immigrants, that state is done. And that's really sad to say, but it's already pretty close to it. And listen to this moment. This is Spencer Pratt. He was asked about, would you cancel the needle run program? And this is cut 20. And this is where Spencer Pratt was asked. It's similar to sort of like what happened, remember, in New York with the needle program. And then suddenly, guess what? All these people were shooting up in front of the needle centers, in front of the drug centers. It's not rocket science that if you make it more accessible, they're going to want to maybe use it more often. And then you're going to have these dirty needles kind of hanging around. Well, Karen Bass said that was the greatest thing. She loved that idea. Spencer Pratt had another idea. Listen to this in the debate.
Langer's Deli, which, as you all know, is a staple of downtown Los Angeles, is asking all of you on the stage right now to end the needle run giveaway program. So my question, Mayor, first of all to you, yes or no? It's run by the city run needle program.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Councilmember Rahman?
No.
Mr. Pratt?
Absolutely no needles and pipes for drug addicts on the street ever.
Got it. I'll take that as a yes.
Sorry.
Absolutely no. That's not a trick question. I would like to have more, crime-ridden cities, more homeless, more this, more that. Please bring it in because that's exactly what California needs more of. That's exactly what every city needs more of. And here is Spencer Pratt talking about who is voting for him and who isn't. Take a listen to this.
The gays are with me. I have the entire gay vote, period. So I think she missed her, everyone's missing who's voting for me. The only people that aren't are the socialists, the lunatics, and the communists. But any normal functioning brain that doesn't want to step in human poop when they get their matcha is voting for me, which is a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
You said most of you probably never heard of Chelsea Handler, so here's an introduction.
That is quite a line. Everybody except for the communists and the lunatics, they're voting for him. Sadly, California has a lot of communists and it has a lot of lunatics. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Joaquin in Pennsylvania, line 3. Go ahead, Joaquin.
Good evening, Rita. As a matter of fact, actually, first thing I want to clear up is Totenkopf. Actually, the translation for that means death head. Kopf is head and Toten is death. So
lovely.
I speak German. So,
lovely.
yes.
Lovely. Wow. You know, it's incredible, Joaquin, that he had that tattoo. We're talking about Graham Plattner. He had it on his chest. He still does. He just covered it up. But he had it fully exposed, apparently, for 18 years. And I guess he claims he never knew what it was. I guess you get this horrible Nazi tattoo. There was a great line I heard tonight from Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz was saying, if you have a Nazi tattoo, it means you like the Nazis. I mean, what kind of person says, I'm going to go get a Nazi tattoo and I'm going to wake up 18 years looking at it on my body every single day and not have a problem with it. And then the only time he covered it up was because suddenly he got all this political blowback. And then the other things with this Graham Plattner. I mean, the fact that his wife looks like she's in a hostage video, it's incredible that here is all these things that this wife, apparently she's getting $30,000 from the campaign. She's on the campaign. He's apparently collecting, I think, veterans disability, and also getting money from his parents. And then in the middle of all this, the wife is the one who reported him, according to, and it's the New York Times. It's not some big conservative outlet. It's the New York Times and also others that are saying that the wife came forward. And it was the wife who was saying, this could be a big issue because he was sexting these young women. I mean, what kind of woman with a self-respect is going to stay with a guy who's sexting all over the place? Who's, and who's on an app for mostly young women. I mean, that's creepy. I think it's really creepy. It's yicky, Joaquin. Don't you think there's something really gross about this guy?
A lot of things, but see, this is the problem. It's typical of the Democrats. And if Maine actually votes for this guy, Maine is going to be gone just like California is, because this is just, and it's hard to believe, Maine's a beautiful place, but, when it comes down to California, you're talking about, the wildfires and all the destroyed homes, and only 60 of them were rebuilt. The problem is that that's really all part of the Democrat globalist, UN agenda thing where they want to create 15-minute cities. They want, like the communists, they want to eliminate private property. So they had no problem. Just the same thing happened in Hawaii. They never rebuilt over there. People lost their homes. They lost their properties. And, it's typical of leftist communist policies. They want to eliminate private property, just like Mamdami's trying to do in New York City, and actually Hochul in New York State. They're making it more and more difficult. So people have to really, what we really need is more control of education and media, or, more conservative outlets of people putting money into these things, because the lack of education to really understand the history of this country and to love this country, it's really lost on a lot of the people who are, say, under 40 years old.
Yeah, that's scary. It's a great point, Joaquin, and that is absolutely frightening, because it's like you're losing the value. It's this communist takeover. And by the way, and I don't know if you knew this, Joaquin, but the guy who's been sort of instrumental in Graham Plattner's rise is the same guy who helped Mamdani. So it's like it's this mass machine. It's the social media. It's the guy with the smile It doesn't matter what his background is. In Mondani's case, can say the most vile, horrible, anti-Israel things. Just say it with a smile. And I guess they're hoping the same thing is going to be true of Graham Plattner. You can, be a misogynist, communist, Nazi-loving, whatever. And you know what? As long as you smile, maybe we can get away with it. That's a scary place to be. Joaquin, thank you very much. We always love hearing from you. You guys, we're going to continue with your calls after the break on this big primary night here on The Rita Cosby Show. The number's 1-800-848-9222, and we'll continue with your calls when we come back. This is interesting. Obviously, this is not called yet, you guys. This is 39% of the vote. This is for the LA mayor's race. And Karen Bass has 38%. Spencer Pratt has 27.9, almost 28%. And Nithya Raman, who is the Democratic Socialist in the race, has 20%. So right now, Karen Bass leading. And then number 2 is Spencer Pratt. So that would be pretty wild if it ends up that the two of them go into the general election. And then some of the new numbers that we're seeing in the governor's race, Steve Hilton is ahead in that race right now, but it's still way too early to call there. They don't have a lot of the results in, just very preliminary. He's doing well. Also, Javier Becerra doing well. And number 3 looks like it's Tom Steyer, just like they thought in the polls. But it looks like Tom Steyer is a little more at this point of a distance from Javier Becerra and Steve Hilton, which may mean the two of them might advance. But again, way too early to tell. The night is very young. And in the case also of the governor's race, they may start having to rely on mail-in ballots. And things get a little crazy when that happens. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Robert in North Carolina on line 1. Go ahead, Robert. Your thoughts tonight.
Hi, Rita. I wanted to talk about the Ebola virus.
Sure, and what about it?
It's very, very scary. We should stop the World Cup from happening in the United States. It's too easy to spread Ebola. You won't have symptoms for 5 weeks.
Yeah. By the way, it is a serious, and they are checking. I know in some of the countries where it is very predominant. So is your message, Robert, that they should cancel World Cup? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. It's too easy to spread this virus. And while you have been exposed, you won't test positive for weeks after.
Yeah, no, you're right. It takes a couple weeks. I mean, obviously, they think they've got it contained to certain areas. Let's hope they're right.
Breaking news.
And we are waiting for more results to come in because, of course, the polls have closed in the state of California, and the two big races, the LA mayor's race and the LA governor's race. Here it is on some of the mayor's numbers. Again, these are preliminary numbers coming in, but it is showing Karen Bass with 38%, Spencer Pratt with 27.9%, Nithya Raman, the Democratic Socialist councilwoman, progressive, 20.1%. And again, about 40% or so in. So it's still very early. The race is still too close to call. It does not look, obviously, that Karen Bass is going to be able to hit the 50% mark, because if she hit 50%, then she would outright win. But the way it works here, if she can't hit 50%, and it doesn't look like she would, obviously, given the results of the other two, well, then the top two advance to the November election. And boy, Spencer Pratt right now is in a very good position. It's still very too early to tell. Still a lot of numbers coming in, but we will definitely keep you posted on that. And then the big question is the governor's race. The last few numbers that I saw, still very early in that particular race. And Steve Hilton and Javier Becerra neck and neck in the latest numbers that were coming in from the California governor's race. And then, of course, at the same time, you also have Tom Steyer there in the mix. So this is getting very, very interesting, and we will keep you posted as results come in, and especially to see if a Republican ends up in the top two and maybe both those races or one of the races. Either way, there may be hope then for the great state of California. And meantime, everybody talking about illegal immigration and what's going on outside Delaney Hall, that ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey. It has just been a mess. And you look at the continued protests, and the Democrats, more of them are coming out and saying it should be shut down. They have no basis for it. They're claiming that, again, the facilities are not good enough for the illegal immigrants. And I read you guys the menu last night. It sounded pretty good. It sounded like an Applebee's or like an Olive Garden. It sounded pretty good. They have pretty good food. You know, I mean, come on. It was like, oh, we'll do beef burritos. We'll do shrimp. We'll do this. We'll do that. Even, you know, we heard from Tom Homan, who went in, and Tom Homan said he was there and the food was really great. So that should sort of say it all. Tom Homan, he's a big guy. He probably likes to eat. He probably enjoys food. So there he is. He said it was great. He said it looked good. It looked fine. And I've known Tom a long time. If he thought it looked kind of subpar, he'd come out and say, I'm embarrassed. We're going to fix it. He wasn't happy with the way things went down in Minneapolis. And remember, he's the guy who was sent in to kind of clean it up. And he was pretty straight ahead. He went and met with Tim Walz. He met with Jacob Fry, the governor and the mayor there in Minneapolis, and the governor of Minnesota. And he said, you know, we're going to try to fix it. And so right now he's saying this is a bunch of nonsense. We're not going anywhere. So here is Hakeem Jeffries. He, of course, is the House Minority Leader, Democrat, of course, of New York. And this is what he had to say about Delaney Hall. He says, this is terrible. It's the worst.
Here in America, immigration enforcement should be fair, just, and humane. That's not what's going on here at Delaney Hall. We spoke to several individuals, none of whom has a criminal record, many of whom have been detained here at Delaney Hall for months. This is not America. The lack of access to quality food, that's not America. The lack of access to adequate medical treatment, that's not America. The retaliation that is taking place, that's not America. The fact that there are 18-year-old high school girls being held here is not America. Delaney Hall should be shut down. And every single individual, particularly those at a high level connected to this facility, they're engaging in a depraved indifference to human life. And every single member of this Trump administration is going to be held accountable.
And here is Mark Wayne Mullen. He is, of course, the Secretary of Homeland Security. And he dropped a bombshell saying that when they were out there, they rounded up a whole bunch of people. They found there were out-of-staters. And he also found that there was Antifa there. Does that sound like homegrown, just sort of organic protest? Heck no.
Individuals that came in from Portland, not from New Jersey, came from Portland to lead. We've seen that they've been well supplied. We've seen Antifa flags being flown. And once the state police came out, and which, by the way, awesome group of guys, they understand crowd control very well. And they started pushing the individuals back after they warned them, started making arrests. You saw that the situation quickly got under control. And for us, when we first started calling, they were simply saying they didn't have the resources. And it's interesting to me that they finally found the resources and started clearing their streets. We can control our building. We can provide security for our own building. But if the city and state streets, that is their job to do. However, we will do it if we have to protect our employees.
Bravo to him. No nonsense. We're staying the course. We are not changing anything. And why the heck would they ever say we're going to close a facility? And what a bunch of hypocrites. Because under Barack Obama, they weren't out there protesting. They didn't have a problem. It's just because it's Donald Trump. They've got TDS. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Elizabeth in Virginia on line 5. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Hi, Rita. I'm telling you, I'm just beside myself there's so many easy fixes that we could do that I just want to I love Donald Trump, but I just want to shake him and say, what in the world are you thinking? This country, all the different countries are laughing at us. I mean, think of it. We are the strongest, most powerful nation in the world, and we cannot stop these domestic terrorists. Please stop calling them protesters. We have got to get it out there. They are terrorists. They're destroying, they're setting fires, they're doing things. President Trump is over there in Iran doing different things. But look, we're right here, and we're making it a laughing stock because he cannot stop. It would be very simple. Oh, I mean, think of it. Biden had airplanes flying these people in. Instead of feeding them real good and everything, put their asses on an airplane and the buses, just like they did when they bust them in here and they flew them in here. Get them out of here. They don't even have to be in that place. And, you know, if they want to complain about the, bad conditions, somebody big needs to go in there that, maybe just take one of them, with their big mouth. Akeem Jeffries, and by the way, that sounds like an Iranian name. Akeem, we need to follow his money big time, find out why he's got such an interest. The other thing I wanted to tell you about being from Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, and I did the research on her because I was so into helping, the Patriots and everything.
Right.
And I just knew, bottom line, her husband, they need to investigate these people. They are criminals. So what it is when I investigated them, I found out that her husband, Adam Spanberger, is a computer engineer. Okay. So before she got to be governor and all that, I was volunteering for Nick DeFreitas. Well, guess what? Nick DeFreitas was winning all the way to the end. And what happened? But Spanberger, which was going against him, in the election, wanting to be seated and everything, she mysteriously found 15,000 votes on a, quote, thumb drive. Now, excuse me, but I don't think ballots are supposed to be on thumb drives.
Oh, that's interesting. This was in the state of Virginia, Elizabeth?
State of Virginia.
Oh,
all
that
happened. Spanberger's husband is a computer engineer.
Oh, the plot thickens. Elizabeth, the plot thickens. That's interesting. Very interesting. Now, let me ask you about tonight, because tonight is mail-in ballots in California. Not all, obviously, but they're allowed. And a number of people have done that. What do you think the chances are that, there's an X difference and we happen to find a whole truckload that all are for Karen Bass? What do you think, Elizabeth?
Look, we have, when Democrats show you how they are, we have to believe them. And the fact that we are just pussyfooting around and accepting everything, these ballots need to be looked at. I guarantee you, I would pay for a recount. I emailed Governor Youngkin, and I told him, I said, before Spanberger's going to cheat again, just like she did with Nick DeFreitas. She's going to find these thumb drives because her husband is a computer engineer. And not only that, there's so much. She went to nursing homes in Virginia, and people that don't even know their names because they're, up in age as far as
right. And what a surprise! Everybody in the nursing home voted for.
She went to nursing homes.
By the way, remember Elizabeth? Who is it? Lindsey Graham was saying that he had seen cases of that earlier on in other places. Elizabeth, you gave us a lot to think about tonight. We definitely, obviously, that needs to be looked at. If indeed that happened, that definitely needs to be looked at because that is shady business if that's true. Elizabeth, thank you very much. Really powerful stuff. And I love how you at least appreciate the integrity of elections. Who is it? Tallarico. I call him Talafrico. That's the guy in Texas, remember, who's running up against Ken Paxton. And he came out and said that he doesn't think there should be voter ID. That was something that he said not too long ago. I mean, what a crazy comment. No voter ID. What could go wrong there, guys? By the way, some preliminary numbers coming in. This is in the California governor's race. Very early. Again, you guys, it's 38% of the vote is in. But right now, Steve Hilton is leading. with 26.3%. Again, very still early. This is not officially called. This is just giving an indicator, at least of some of the numbers. Steve Hilton, 26.3%. Then you got Javier Becerra right behind him there at 26.0%. And then Tom Steyer at 19%. And then number 4 is Sheriff Chad Bianco right there. So, boy, what an this could be a very interesting night for the state of California. And again, you have to wonder how many outstanding ballots are they waiting for that could potentially come in that were mail-in. But who knows? It would be unusual if the race is called tonight, but that could be very interesting if they can figure out the margin of error. Maybe potentially they could, but that would be highly unlikely. But right now, Steve Hilton is actually ahead in the California governor's race. I don't think I'd see a Republican running ahead in a governor's race in California in a long, long time. Also, more results coming in from L.A. Karen Bass, 36.5%. Spencer Pratt, 30.3%. And that is with about 46% of the vote in. Again, way too early to call. But that is very, very telling that she's ahead, but Spencer Pratt is clearly in the second position at this point. And again, this could be a very historic night for the state of California. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Gene in Mount Vernon on line 2. Gene, go ahead. Thank you for waiting.
Rita, hi. Last night on the Cosby program, you and John were talking about protests at a church on the 4th of July up on Nantucket.
Yep.
And you were waiting to hear more about it. I'm going to be 89 this month, and from the 1950s up to the late 1990s, my family and
wait. How old are you going to be, Gene? How old? Gene,
Nantucket.
Gene, how old are you going to be? Hold on one second. How old did you say you're going to be?
I'll be 89 June the 26th, God willing.
Oh my God! Well, you sound great. How beautiful to hear from you. Like really, you sound amazing. So yeah, what do you think about? Did you hear that they're protesting every year? They used to read sort of the Declaration, and now they're not doing it. Essentially, they said it's too much white guilt. I mean, if this is not ridiculous, what do you mean? And it's Nantucket, so I guess we should question the source, right, Gene?
Well, I know that we always enjoyed bicycling and staying at a little guest house, going to the beach. I actually got to ride a horse and cantered over the moors with a lady.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, in the saddle.
Oh, my God. Beautiful. Well, Gene, at that place, and again, this is sort of where obviously Obama hangs out and Joe Biden hangs out. And this particular church, it's a Unitarian church, decided to cancel the July 4th celebration over a whiteness debate, saying that it's spewing lies. It's our own whiteness, and we shouldn't be spotlighting it. I mean, have they lost their mind, Gene? I mean, this is really this is like DEI on turbocharge.
At a church service, it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it does not. 100%. Gene, you sound great. Happy early birthday, Gene. You sound amazing, and I hope I'm half as sharp as you when I hit 65. Forget 89. You like sound like a spring chicken. You sound awesome. Thank you so much, Gene. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And everybody, we're going to continue your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. But first, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment with a very powerful story from Little Rock, Arkansas, where Floyd Brantley, a 101-year-old veteran who served in 3 military organizations across 22 years, was honored at the Clinton National Airport in Little Rock while traveling to Normandy for D-Day's 82nd anniversary. I was invited there. I'm sad I'm not going this year. I went a couple of years ago, and it is amazing. I encourage everybody, if you get a chance to go to Normandy, you will understand what heroism is truly all about. Well, Floyd Brantley served as a Navy corpsman with the 1st Marine Division in World War II. Later, he flew as a loadmaster in the Air Force during the Korean War and then in the Air National Guard during the Vietnam War. He is now, as I mentioned, 101 years old. He's traveling to Normandy for the 82nd anniversary of D-Day, where he's going to join fellow World War II veterans in remembrance and recognition of their extraordinary courage and also sacrifice. How beautiful, and bravo to him and the great members of the greatest generation, and of course, their families. And I can't believe the anniversary is June 6th. It's coming up, you guys. Never, ever forget the sacrifice of those very young men who stormed the beaches, all for our freedom. And everybody, America's heroes need your help. The best way to do it, and it's easy, all you have to do is donate $11 a month to the absolutely incredible Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Be sure to check them out. They do so much for America's heroes and also their families. The great Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
Breaking news.
And it is a big primary night. Results coming in from California. The polls have been closed for about an hour. About half of the votes have been counted, a little less than half. But incredibly, in the governor's race right now, a Republican is leading. Steve Hilton is leading in the polls. Again, way too early to call. This is not an official. Obviously, this is what preliminary results are showing. But he is leading 26.7. Javier Becerra, 25.9. And then you got Tom Steyer, who I call the mini George Soros. He is 19.7. Then in the mayor's race, you've got Karen Bass at 36.5%, Spencer Pratt at 30%, and then the Democratic Socialists at 20%. So far, it's looking like a pretty good night for Republicans. Let's go real quick to Brian, line 1. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I think that if Karen Bass wins this race, and it looks like she's going to, and she comes out ahead, then that means that the people in that city are headless. I mean it in the literal sense of the word, because they don't have brains or because they're maybe dead.
You know what? I tell you, it is incredible that she would get reelected. It's too early. By the way, the top 2 advance. So this doesn't look like it's over yet. It looks like it's continuing.